And welcome to Let's Chat. And Simon, you're not going to believe this. We're up to episode 37 already.
Fantastic, Tony.
Yeah, well, we're getting pretty close to our 50 mark, so we're going to have to make that one a very special one. And Simon, do you want to just turn your sound up just a fraction because you're a little bit on the low side, because we want to hear your beautiful broadcast voice, of course. And have we got another exciting show for everybody? But before I do that, let's introduce ourselves. I'll introduce myself. I am Tony, the Wellbeing Pathfinder. I help individuals, business owners via customized retreats, workshops, and consultations to maximize their feelings of vibrance, purpose, happiness, health, and success. And Simon, what do you do?
Well, Tony, for those that don't know me, my name is Simon Bowden, and I am an international marketing business coach with 25 years experience, which makes me a master coach. My mission is always to help my clients identify their aspirations and vision, strengths and blind spots, help them make informed decisions and take actions when needed to ultimately fast track them towards their personal goals. My coaching caters for executives and directors to entrepreneurs, small business owners and beyond. Whatever your situation, I'll help you build on your strengths and get clear on how to create a profitable future. As you know, Tony, I love what I do and I'm passionate about helping my clients succeed.
That's right. And just incidentally, I'm one of your clients, and I love, and I can endorse Simon. Simon does a magnificent job. We just had a coaching session yesterday, and we got some great outcomes from it. He makes a big difference to us all. So
absolutely, I've always believed, Tony, that everyone needs a coach.
Absolutely, I think that's such a great piece of advice, and it doesn't matter what stage of the business you're in, whether you're a new starter or you've been in business for a long time. It's always good to get a new perspective, and what better perspective that you can get than a master coach like Simon. All right, now that I've given you a big rap, we better read out what are we trying to achieve, Simon? We're trying to. What's our mission for this? So let's just express what our mission is. It is to educate and engage with our audience with lively discussions with experts to gain their experiences, tips, and benefits of the business and well-being practices that they can offer. Now, Simon, tell us a little bit about our special guest today.
Well, before that, I just wanted to say it's absolutely fantastic to have this gentleman on our podcast today. I can honestly say that we've only just caught him. He's actually heading over to India tomorrow. Wow. So we were, I feel very privileged to have him on our show today. And if you'll allow me, I'd like to introduce him. I'd like to read out his bio, Tony.
Yeah, sure.
Sesh has 20 plus years experience in the IT industry and has been instrumental in helping improve systems and processes in several major organizations using ISO, Six Sigma and Agile methodologies. Sesh is an extended DISC meta coach, certified coach actually, and uses it to help his clients excel in their businesses. Today, Sesh is the founder of Rigor Business Coaching, where he helps guide his clients through the minefield of performance, strategy, and team culture, just to name a few. Sesh has a lovely wife, Maggie, and two beautiful children, and has lived in Melbourne since 2014. Thank you, Sesh. We're very appreciative of having you on today, and both Tony and I feel very privileged that you're a part of our Let's Chat. So welcome.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Tony, for having me here. Very privileged to be in the show and share all my knowledge and other things. I have a bit of a muffled voice thanks to the Melbourne weather and the cold and the cough what I have. But otherwise,
no, That's perfectly all right,
Tougher to
Sesh.
live in Melbourne.
Huh?
But you've got to be even tougher to live in Hobart, right? And that be closer to the Antarctic.
Yes.
Now,
Maybe,
I'd like to
uh,
kick it off, Sesh, if you'll allow me,
yes.
by asking you the first question.
Yes.
Now, you're a very gifted Indian man with an amazing life. A lovely and supportive. You have a lovely and supportive wife and two gorgeous children, living in a wonderful life here in Australia. But it hasn't always been that way, has it, Sesh?
Uh,
Can you tell us what it was like growing up as a young child with
yeah.
very few friends and suffering with anxiety?
Yeah. That's a big one. Thanks for this question. And yeah, so life has not ever been a straight curve for me or a straight line where the growth has just gone up. I've seen a lot of growth, but it's always been a downfall all my life through my childhood. Said that, I'm happy that I believe in one mantra that is never quit until you win. So until I win, I will never quit. That's what I followed from my childhood. So during my childhood, I had very few friends. I was always tracking my goals and I was always behind my goals, but I never tried to learn the social interactions, etc. Nor I was sort of encouraged and other things. Therefore, I know how to hit the goals, but to make friends and to be with friends or enjoy with friends, I never did that all my childhood. I always hit my next goal. The anxiety, there's a bit of a story between anxiety and the way the childhood was. In my childhood, we were punished for every single thing what you do. That's how the culture was then. Like in the school, if you come late by 5 minutes, you are punished. You are made to stand outside. You are smacked. You are beaten by cane, and if you lose a pencil, you'll be punished. If you do a spelling mistakes, you're punished. So for every single thing what you do in life, you were punished. So what made this is this brought up a pattern that we should not make mistakes. So mistakes are incorrect. So that started a fear inside me from early days that I should be perfect all the time. So I started running a race of being perfect. And as you all know that that race never ends. So I didn't if I remember correctly, I didn't had much anxiety till grade 9 because I was always hitting my goals quite often. It is after grade 9 and grade 10 when my conscious awareness was much higher, then I started having anxiety. But yeah, but if I had to redo my life, then I would love to revisit my childhood and play a little bit and have more friends. I had very few close friends, but other than that, most of them, it's high and by sort of a business relationship.
Thank you, Sesh. Can you just tell us a little bit about the problems that you had with your father, and
Yeah.
what were those issues, and how did it make you feel?
Yeah, so back in those days, especially in the country where I come from, India, so my father had lived a life which is not that great. Like they had seen in wars with India and Pakistan and India and China and other things. So they had seen a lot of hard things in their life. Because of that reason, my father's mindset was mostly to survive. It is just that, what if tomorrow we don't have a job, or what if we don't have food on the table? So it is always towards the survival mindset, and because of which we d- we don't take risk. If we have survival mindset, we don't take risk, we don't grow, we don't do much what we can do. We just live in the shell and we'll try to live in the shell. Now that is his mindset, whereas I'm an extended practitioner, so I might speak some terms like I'm a high D guy, so high D sort of an I guy, DI guy. So I have a goals and I want to hit my goals, and anything which comes in my way to the goal is actually tarnished. So that's how I see. So I want to hit that goal. So with me being very ambitious and me being very structured to reach my goals and taking risk was exactly was contrary to what his thought process was. So it was a clash between two people, two ideologies, and it led to very hard times. Like I, we stopped talking with each other, even though we were in the same roof for 8 or 10 years. We never talked to each other much, and whenever we talked, it was like. It's like saying that we don't want each other, something like that. So in fact, there were several moments where I thought, let me move out of the house, and I was told, get out of the house, there's no point in living. So I some point I felt I should have moved out of the house, but then the culture in India is, if you move out of the house, then you are not allowed in the society. Like I wanted to get out of the house when I was in grade 11 or grade 12, but then if I go out, then nobody will give me any place. I will not get any jobs even to survive. So which means either I have to live in streets and struggle and come up, or I should just end my life. I tried taking few tablets to make that closure, but that tablet didn't work, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you want to term it as. So the tablet didn't work. So, but then once I almost left the house and told, let me be on the streets. But then I have a very good friend. I had few friends very always. So one of my friend's father, who is sort of a mentor even today for me, he pulled me up, and he took me inside his house. I wept a lot, and he told me, he guided me that don't do this. Stay in that house for another 4 years till you graduate, and then you are out for your dreams. So that's a hard thing. So one thing is, even though I didn't had a lot of friends in my life, I had few very good friends, and mostly I had mentors to hold my tears and hold me when it's required.
Mm.
Mm. In a previous conversation, Sesh, you labelled yourself as an angry person. What made you angry, and perhaps who labelled you this, and how did it start?
Yeah, it all comes back to the childhood. So since I had low social interaction, the reason for having low social interaction was being bullied. So I will call it as a bully, but they would call it as a fun by relatives or neighbors or anyone, saying that the way you are and the way you do things, like the bully things. I didn't like anyone bullying me even when I was a kid. So I rebelled, and when I rebelled, they used to, because they are big adults, they used to dominate me, and then again I used to rebel. So I became a rebel boy, because I don't like anyone doing discrimination with relate to religion, caste, or creed, or color, or language. No discrimination. I have all friends of all creeds, and I love all of them. And I don't want to discriminate. So when someone does discrimination, or when someone wastes water, harms nature, I used to rebel for all of this. And when I rebel, people used to tag me that you are a rebel kid, and that's where I started getting angry thing. And if somebody doesn't listen to my rebel, then I used to shout at them that you are wrong. So that's where my label, and it all started in the childhood, and it amplified when I started having fights with my dad and other people. Um, and also just a realization which I had now, that maybe I copied this angriness, the shouting and other things from the neighborhood, and maybe from my dad and the other people who used to do the same thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear what you say there, Sesh, and one of the things you mentioned earlier was that about anxiety. Um,
Yeah.
what sort of medication did you take for that, and how old were you, and did it help you?
Yeah. So thanks for that question. When I was in grade 11, when I was going through some troubles in family, like with my father, and thinking what to do, that's when I just reached out to a doctor by name Manjunath in my village or a town, city, in fact. So I reached out to him. He asked me, "Do you have a girlfriend?" I said, "No, I don't have a girlfriend." But even if someone doesn't say hi, I feel sad because I tried to become a people pleaser. So unknowingly, I was trying to please people, trying to please society, so that I feel like I belong to them. The six core, sorry, the three universal fears, like we need to belong to some tribe. So I wanted to belong to the tribe in which I was living in. So I was trying all my efforts to please people, which
Mm,
didn't work. So then he gave me a tablet. I would not tell the tablet because someone in India can get that off the card. So 25 mg of that tablet he gave me, and he asked me to take when I feel anxiety. But then that tablet started giving me drowsiness. So I misutilized that to end my life two times. Once I took 4 tablets, then I took 10 tablets at a time to end my life, saying that enough is enough. Let's end this life and let's move on. But then it didn't work. So the family who got to know that, my friends' parents, whom I respect a lot, they just got hold of me. The auntie who who is like my mother, she took all the tablets from me, threw it, and took a promise that you don't take any more tablets. So I stopped there. But again, when I was in Australia, I had a severe anxiety attack. So then I did take tablets, a different tablet, under the medication or under the supervision of doctors.
mm.
Mm. Sesh, tell our audience why you decided to move to Australia back in 2013-14.
Yeah.
And obviously there was a lot of cultural differences between India and Australia. How did you cope with them?
Yeah. Moving to Australia was a big decision which I made in 2012, 2013. I still love my country where I come from, which is India. So now I call Australia the home. So I wanted to be army man and do a lot of service to the country. I will still do the service to the country in a different way. But then I felt, there are some systems and uh, systems and other things which in India which I don't resonate with, and I don't resonate with religion and caste and creed and other things, differentiations which happen there, and the reservation and the corruption and some other systems which I can't change. So I had a choice to my kids. Either I should teach them how to live with that systems, or either take them out of that system, because I can't change the system. So I was looking out, and then the same friend whom I'm referring to here, he helped me to guide me that you can move to Australia, and that's where I came. We moved to Australia, but the move to Australia was a very big change, because in India we were in a very comfortable position with huge network. What we had, we were financially better, but moving to Australia means we had to change a lot. That change, the first time I didn't had a mentor when I moved to Australia. So till when I was in India, I always had a mentor, and it was that mentor who used to hold me when I wanted. So for the first time I didn't had a mentor, I felt I'm an orphan here. And when I met a clash of a similar sort of tribes like my father, similar dominating people like my father, that's my anxiety kicked in. and 3 people in Australia I couldn't work with because of their working style, which was similar to what my father. It always triggered me, and my anxiety kicked in there. But otherwise, my move to Australia has been very good. My family is very good now. Australia is my home. We love being here. We are now in a better shape compared to several years, and we are doing pretty well now, thanks to everything. And now Australia is our home. We still love our country where we come from. We will do all the services which is required from here, and do our duty of being part of that community for 30 years what we were.
Sesh, you
That's
had a big struggle. You had a giant struggle with anxiety. So how
Yes.
are you coping with that now? And if you've been able to sort the anxiety out, what do you
Yeah.
think was the major factor in sorting that out?
Thanks for that question. That allows me to tell you the exact reason why I had anxiety. So my anxiety was mainly related to 2 things. It is not psychological, or it is not. It could have been solved without tablets. My anxiety now, because I've done a lot of studies in last 2 years or 3 years. My anxiety was related to my identity. So there are 4 types of identity: level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. I'll not go in depth. I was in level 2 identity. So I was tying myself with my job, and I was tying myself with the career growth, what I'm trying to see. So when the growth stopped, my anxiety and depression kicked in because I lost my identity. So another thing which caused anxiety was actually 2 more things: was not belonging to the tribe, which is the 3 universal fears, and also pleasing people, and the fear of failures. So, or that, which is again a 3 universal fear, because fear of being found out. So it was 3 universal fears what kicked in to a larger extent, and the level 2 identity what I had is the main reason for my anxiety. And now I believe if I have to redo it, what I needed was some coaching sessions, and some sort of guidance to come out of it. And that's what I would love to do with any people who have anxiety. If they want, I would love to coach them to the steps what I believe took me out of that anxiety. Now I live in a non-anxiety world. Life is so good. I can see the nature. I don't overthink. Whatever happens, it happens. And I live my life. I play with my girls, kiss my girls, and hug them and play with them. That's all I live for.
and your girls are absolutely gorgeous too,
Thank you.
Sesh.
Thank
They're
you.
so lovely, including you've got a lovely wife as well. So
Thank you.
I just wanted to just quickly touch on, can you describe for us when you were at your lowest point, what did you do to turn your life around? What was that guiding moment for you?
Uh, I would say I would always give this reward to my wife. When I came out of my anxiety after within 6 months of tablets and within few studies of few books, I came out of anxiety very quick because it was not related to medical at all. So when I came out of anxiety, my wife asked me one question, what do you want to do in life? I told, I'm not living my life. I'm just living to please others. So she told, I'll cut short because of time. So she asked me, what do you want to do? So I told, I want to live my life. And my life is public speaking, coaching, mentoring, and doing all that sort of job. I love public speaking. I've done innumerable number of speeches in my life. So more the people, I'm more happy with it. So I'm very good as a teacher or a mentor. So, and that's the stream which I want to be, I told. And that's when she told, then go ahead, live your dream, rather than struggling every single day. Just live your dream. And that's when that changed my whole life. So I had decided that I'm physically dead on February 16th, 2019. I had decided that I'm dead. I don't want this life anymore. I'm living just for my kids. And just when I came out of that in somewhere in the similar time, my wife's this guidance gave me hope. And now I'm living the dream of building a business empire and to serve the community what I want to really do. the dream which I plotted when I was in grade 8 or grade 9.
That's inspiring, Sesh. Just one other thing. You did have another challenge, didn't you? In 2020, you were devastated by the loss of your mum. So how did you cope with that, and how have you come to terms with that?
So when I didn't had any friends, I was always my mama's boy, holding a sari in the house and asking her for everything. Fight with her, literally fight with her. But if I don't hear her voice, I couldn't survive. Even when I stopped talking to her for a few years, but just I used to call her one every week and fight with her because I
Yeah.
wanted her voice. So when I lost my mom for suddenly in the COVID first wave, it was really hard for us, and I felt I'm falling back, and I couldn't feel that. I will get into a depression, but luckily, I got along. We still feel that heat. So tomorrow will be my first visit to India after my mom's death. I didn't even be there in her funeral because of COVID related issues. So I still miss her. But telling that life is all energy, so we all become part of this universe as an energy. We came from energy. We'll go back to energy, which we call it as God. So
Yeah.
being hard.
Sesh, you've given us such an inspiring story, and especially the fact that your lovely wife Maggie has helped you find your calling. She's helped you identify your passion for public speaking, training, coaching, and mentoring. How's your mindset now, and what's it like doing something that you're passionate and you love?
Oh yeah, my mindset is always I've gone back to my old mantra of not quitting until I win. So failure is just a learning. So that's my mantra, and I'm still sticking with it now. I got it back. So my dream is to build a business empire, an empire like Reliance, Dhirubhai Ambani, Ratan Tata, all Indian business tycoons. So I always by inspired by them. I want to build an empire like what they have built. So Riga business coaching or Riga consultancy, whatever it is. So it is just my first company which I'm running right now. But other than that, I will have more such businesses where I will invest and build a whole empire. And the ultimate goal is to create employment. And when I have thousands of people as an employees, I give back to the society. And at 60s or 70s, I would love to have an orphanage, and my deathbed should be with 100 kids who will be my kids, because in my orphanage I will adopt all my kids as my kids, because they will not be part of anyone else. So I want to give the legacy back and have an orphanage when I die.
That's beautiful, Sesh. You've sort of
Yeah.
given us a little bit of a rundown what your future is. Was there any other last words with what your future would like to be? Is there any other things that you want to add to that?
The future, yeah. So my future will be my family, of course, my 3 girls in my home,
Yes.
and my business and orphanage. The three pillars, what I would call, is my future. I would work till the last moment. My last few years will be in orphanage with my own kids. Now 100 odd kids surrounding me. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's really noble.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just looking at the time. We're getting close to the time that when we have to wind up. We could talk to you all day, Sesh. We could have kept
Yeah.
going.
Thank you.
If there's any one last message, what would you like to tell the audience?
Yeah, I would love to tell the audience the mantra which I'm always saying, that never quit until you win. The failure is just a learning. So just a small instance, when I was in 2004, we did a robotic project where we were awarded a gold medal here
Wow.
by ex Prime Minister of India for our whole team. we had a very dramatic moment where the whole project would have been collapsed at the last moment. If we didn't had the fire in our belly and say that we will never quit until we win, that project would have been closed and we wouldn't have had a gold medal. So the only mantra to win is never quit until you win. All the failures what you are having now is just a learning to make your success more beautiful. It is the journey which matters. So that's all I would love to say.
Thank you very much, Sesh.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Simon, and
Beautiful.
thanks, Johnny.
Simon, would you like to, what sort of insights did you get from Sesh today?
Well, gee, I mean, I agree with you, Tony. I could ask Sesh probably another 100 questions. I think his story is so inspiring, and especially for the people out there in our audience. I think I hope Sesh has been able to inspire you with his, not giving up attitude. I think is really key. But I suppose, Tony, just a quick one would be, Sesh touched on the word bullying, and I think it's something that still happens in our culture, and it happens all across the world too. So it's not just in India; it's in Australia, it's in America, it's everywhere. And I think it's a great message for everybody that by bullying somebody, there's a detrimental effect to that person. And you could be bullying someone and they're going through their own trauma, which is causing all sorts of problems. So I think it's very wrong, and I think if we could eradicate bullying from our culture, it would be fantastic. I think we need to care for people and help one another rather than bullying them. So that's my key message that I got.
Thanks, Simon. And for me, I got a lot of insights from Sesh. One of the most important ones was his determination to keep on going no matter what, which was good. And I loved how he sort of dealt with how he kept on going with his nemesis, which was anxiety. And that's a big one in the world at the moment. The fear of the future. What's really going to happen? And Sesh, to his credit, was able to he had some really bad times. He got to the lowest ebb where he's getting close to, wanting to give his life away because of that. It's depression. And that's a big one. It's in society at the moment, and then we really need to deal with that. And Sesh, I really honor you for thinking about the future, about your vision of having an orphanage and helping kids going forward, because our kids are our future. And I think to get that message, how to overcome anxiety, and you're a great example of how you've done it. So I implore all our audience to reach out to Sesh if you've got some issues and things like that. Sesh has been through it, and he's actually come out of the other side. So he's a good man to talk to. Okay, on that note, I'd like to sort of wind us all up, and thank you to the audience for their time. And we're also going to have another exciting Let's Chat. I'm just going to let Simon do the honours and do the final close, because I know that he's always got a surprise for us.
Well, Sesh, again, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming on our show today. And as a thank you, that of course we always offer our special guests an amazing box of favourites. I'll at some stage share those with you, Sesh, when we.
Thank you. Thanks, Simon.
And enjoy one another's company. So, but yeah, Tony, we've got some amazing people coming up. We've booked them in, and I'm not going to let them out of the bag. We used to announce who we're going to speak to, but I quite like leaving it to a surprise. So in a fortnight's time, we have an amazing guest coming on our show, and it'll be an inspiring one, and thoroughly looking forward to it. So thanks all. Appreciate you tuning in, and I hope today's session with Sesh has given you some inspiration in wanting to move forward. So have a great day, have a great week, and see you next week.
All right, we bid you goodbye.
Bye.